Traders, Brian here with our weekend video for what's new for the week of 29 April through 3 May 2024. These are some of the things that you'll see in the Discord room over the course of the next week. Let's delve right in. All right, update number 3, new posts and tweaks. Okay, I've posted the NASDAQ weekly statistical data summaries and comments. I posted those I think yesterday sometime. So take a look at those. The statistics are holding up pretty good. So we have directional edge in trigger line trades, and what I'm focused on, the B4 jiggles. So my effort, or my main effort going forward, everything I look at is really concentrated around the B4 jiggles. Everything I want to observe, it's how does it affect, or how does it make the first B4 jiggle inside of a trend stick out even more. So that's the crux of what I'm looking at. All right, we briefly discussed last week, I think it was last week, the magical 6. You'll hear me, a lot of times in the room call out, hey, we're 2x2 long. I'm starting to look for a long trade now. So in the higher time frame, I'm just looking for, an up triangle as we're switching trends, going from bearish to bullish. I'll use that example. So we're in a bearish trend. We're starting to flip back bullish. I'm looking for up B4 triangles. That first one, looking for the short-term BLT trigger lines to cross. Then I've got 2. And over here I'll have at least 2 and possibly 3 when we get those. When we're full on 3x3 leaning to the long side, then we can take those deep pullbacks as they as they emerge throughout the trend. So that's what the magic 6 is right there. All right, I talked a little bit about my Macroverse and Microverse categories in a recent post. I like how you guys ask questions, and it kind of gets me to open up more and more about my thought process, because I don't put all that out there. I'm working on it, in the backdrop as we move forward. But it's a good time to talk about it now. So my Microverse is what you guys see me live stream every day. This is our model that we focus our entries on. Okay, the magic 6 is part of the Microverse. It's shaping that landscape to get us looking for trades inside the Microverse. So the Macroverse is now I'm just going to show you this chart. This right here is overlaid onto my fib model, my intraday fib model, and this creates my Macroverse. Okay, the Macroverse is it's no secret. It's easy for me to identify the macro trend inside of the NASDAQ. I guess the best analogy to use and you guys have, just to bounce back and forth, you guys have heard me talk about my 3 and 5 year plan. And that's what I'm referring to. What I want to get to is to have a fully functional macro and microverse in one chart. Now, I'll probably always have a separate chart with just my fib levels. I don't want to put all of my levels on my trading chart, but I want one chart that has my macroverse and microverse built in. And the microverse would be bar colors and a few arrows here and there, but absent of 2, 3, 4 indicators. So that's what I'm getting to. But the analogy, I guess the best way to look at it is, from my former line of work as, right 30 years in the military, I understand the macro environment. We have different names for that, from the strategic down to the tactical levels. I understand that, and I'm trying to equate that to my trading program, because 30 years of doing something, I can relate to how things in the military are organized, categorized, and the actions that occur inside each of those different environments. So for me in trading, it's easy for me to develop the macro environment. I clearly know the macro trend, or as I refer to it sometime in the Discord room, what's the current tone of the market. Well, it's easy for me because I've got my fib levels and the 216 EMA, and so I can easily identify the macro trend. The micro trend is where I want to execute trades inside of that macro trend. So in the military, when we have a macro environment that's bad in a hostile environment, we get several options of how to deal with that. First way is completely bomb it back into the Stone Age. Yeah, problem solved. The problem with that is a lot of innocent people are killed, critical infrastructure is destroyed, and potentially generations of folks living in close proximity to that region are negatively impacted. But in the military, inside of those macro environments, we have several ways of dealing with that. One way is we have specialty teams in the Special Forces. We have Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, that they are our surgical strike elements. They go inside those large-scale macro environments, and they surgically remove components and elements from that macro environment. So in my trading, that's what I'm trying to do. In my Macroverse strategies, I'm trying to develop the Delta Force and SEAL Team 6 so that I can go into the macro trend and surgically remove components inside of that macro trend. It's really the best way I can describe it. I'm trying to develop the sharpest point of the spear to go in and trade in something inside of something that I've clearly defined and just get really good at that. So yeah, hopefully that clears up my macro and microverse categories a little bit better. So I try to use my background to help me organize, strategize, and execute in a line that makes sense to me. All right, next item, for observation only, and again only in the microverse, you'll see a little bit later on what my focus is for next week, but I'm trying to measure these pullbacks. So for observation purposes only, I've added the psychological line. It's an oscillator. Yesterday I did a competition between the MACD set at a very quick range, the stochastics, the double stochastics, the RSI, the Williams percent R, and this by far is the cleanest, less noisy of the bunch right there. So in order, again, this is observation only this week. You're not going to see this line on the chart after this week right here. It's for me to watch it and then figure out how I can code this into my strategy, my microverse strategy, so that I can eliminate this and put it into something that I clearly understand and can look at it in an instant. But the logic is we're looking for B4 jiggles that penetrate certain zones. So here we have a B4 jiggle, bearish, pullback, we're above that zone. So we're taking the first close down plus a tick. All right, I'm just going to show you just a couple of these right here, just so you got the. Here's another bearish. We flip back again. I mean, we're bearish through this whole thing, but this is higher probability trade. Trend magic is black underneath the longer one. B4 jiggle present. We're back above this area again, and we come down. There's all kinds of ways to look at it. Here's a bullish one, so you can see the zones. We come back down. We pierce that lower threshold, and we take back, go back to the upside. So I'm not going to change a template for this because you're only going to see this for a week, and I'm just looking at it. And next week trading, I may some of my trades, I may just start buying on the first B4 jiggle once we get inside this zone here. Just again, I'm testing the waters on this, and I'll accumulate some data next week on the number of bars, you know, that closes below the trend magic and the first probe below this, and see what the average of those are for the B4 jiggles. So again, I'm not going to update a template with this. If you want to add it, it is the psychological line in NT8. It's 5 period. Let's get rid of that. And I've got the overbought, oversold line set at 75.25. So that's it. Okay. All right. Setups on the entry chart. Oh, I should have kept that chart over there. So let's go over those. This is what we're focused on next week. Show you a couple examples. We just talked about one. B4 jiggle bullish right there. Up triangle, pull back, no down triangle. Take the first close up plus a tick. Okay, I'm not going to go over any more. But let's back up to the John Wick. This is what I really want to. Got a lot of guys in the room gravitating to that John Wick. They're starting to love that thing. It's a really good setup. I trade them around certain key areas, and I don't mess with them much after that. So there's several here. What I wanted to call your attention to, something pretty neat, is I'm going to open this up a little bit. With what I noticed with this psychological level set at the settings I've got, you know, I want the John Wicks that happen immediately after this one's a little bit far up for me, but what I want to draw your attention to is the flat line. John Wick, this thing is maxed out. So what I've noticed is that first one is really high probability. Now, anyway, I'll let some of you guys take a look at it. You're trading it and really doing good. But this is what I thought was really interesting here, is a 1 bar pullback. As long as it doesn't penetrate, you don't know if it's going to penetrate. You know, you just have to put your buy stop in 2 closes up. That's where I would trade the 1 bar pullback, is two closes up. What I've noticed is those 1 bar pullbacks that don't come below this line on the bullish trades, 2 bars up and you got a pretty nice trade going. All right, let's look at just a couple others. So here's another one. We get the move. This is a better one right here. So we come up. This is a deep pullback. We get 3 to 4 bars closed higher. That gets me interested in the deep pullback continuation. If I miss it, I get the John Wick right there, and look at that bar right there. We're pegged. So here we go up. First John Wick after the reversal here, and we're pegged. So you know, it just goes. This is a favorite trade of mine. Underneath, we're about to really go. Now all the other rules hold fast in the John Wick. Got to have a red down triangle for bearish John Wicks. But look, we're flat. Bearish John Wick, close, enter at the close plus a tick, and you take the trade down. If I'd have taken this, and I would not have taken that one right there. Another beautiful one after the reversal, except we didn't have the up. I really need to see the up. This is one that would work. You know, we clear the low here. We got the up triangle, and bam, there we go. So you guys play with that, take a look. But that's the John Wick. We talked about the B4 jiggles, and of course the deep pullbacks are this right here, bullish deep pullback. We're still in bearish bullish structure. I don't know what I said there, but I'll re-clarify. Bullish trade up, big pullback, bearish, goodness, bullish structure still intact. We get the red down triangle, you know, 3 closes higher, and plus a tick, and we get there. Bunch of good deep pullbacks in the bullish structure there. Here's one. You wouldn't have gotten taken out on your stop below the swing low. So it works in same opposite for bearish. Let's see if I can find one here. It just seems like we were in a bullish. Yeah, here we go. Okay, here's one that didn't work. We were in a bearish structure, bullish. You know, the up triangle come down. Yeah, I would have come out of that trade, taken a loss. But what I've learned is, you know, you keep taking these trades because they can drift a little higher, and then you get the down move. So those are the trades we're focused on in the room. Those are the categories. All the PDFs are listed in there that explain those. Some of the areas of focus for next week, I will be using Optimus, the semi-automated bot, this week, testing entries on an 18.3 Ninja bar chart. So, well, I should just really keep this up here. So, for example, in this trade right here, which is what I'm looking at, meets all the criteria. I get the probe down below. Then let me see if I can drag this chart in. All right, so yeah, right here is where we would right in here is where we turn Optimus on. You see Optimus, the up arrow, he gets in second close up on the entry, doesn't come back down, and goes straight up from there. So let's see if we can. Here's one on the downside. So right there, you see Optimus. Optimus gets in right here for that down move, and of course you get your 5 points off of that. So that's all I'm doing with Optimus next week. I'm trying to find the right time frame to trigger Optimus on. The optimal time frame for Optimus, our semi-automated bot, to help us with our entries. Let's see, do I need this chart up anymore? Yeah, so I already talked about the observations. So that's, yeah, I don't think I need this anymore. So I'm really focused on the pullbacks now, trying to quantify those and to get a data, some statistical data on the pullbacks of that first B4 inside the trend. Yeah. And that's why I pulled that indicator into the mix as well. So here's a list of the current templates I'm using. I'm not going to talk about each of these. You can check these out. And I think that's all I have for the week. So hey, good luck trading next week. Looking forward to seeing everybody at the opening bell.